Hi guys, what's going on? Hope you missed me. Sorry for such a long break, but this project was the biggest one that I've made so far, so it took me some time. Interestingly, I had over 14 hours of footage to process, and of course not all of my work was recorded. So grab a big coffee or something stronger, relax, and I hope you won't be disappointed. Let's start then. I found this 700 scale Japanese Nagoya Castel kit and thought it would be a great reference to DDG Myoko that will also land on the diorama. There is a whole Castel area in this set and I decided to use it also. At the beginning, let me just say that I put a list of all the materials and paints used in this project in the description below, and if I have forgotten something or you have any questions, just feel free to write it in the comment. Assembling these Japanese buildings were quite straightforward, as you can see. Regular cutting, cleaning, priming and painting. I like the color of the real Nagoya Castel. I hope my pronunciation is okay here. If it's wrong, sorry. So yeah, I wanted to paint it the same way as real Nagoya Castel. After mixing Mr. Color paints, I add yellow model color acrylic paint and finally got a color that I was happy with. Small weathering using Aptylum coils and AK White Spirit. So as a diorama base, I used 5mm plywood. It's quite easy to cut, you just have to... or use a jigsaw. Okay, I confess, I really use it too. Anyway, next step was to make some planning. I wanted the castle to stand on a hill next to the cliff, and down on the water DDG Myoko patrolling and guarding the area. So I made a huge structure using some styrofoam, gluing it with Patex Superfix. It's a kind of universal glue, safe for gluing foam. Carving the foam without any hot wire cutter wasn't that easy, but it's possible, of course. You just need to be more patient or desperate. I slimmed down the base of the Castel a bit using Proxion rotary tool. For the ground I used Woodland Scenic mold as thin plaster. Just shake it well while still in the box, add water and you're good to go. While it cures, I added some rocks and made some cracks. I also filled a small gap in the foam construction. Using 1.5mm balsa wood, I made small pier for sailing yachts and small boats. Then started to paint a bit. For 700 scale, Molda's thin is too coarse-grained in my opinion, so I made a finish coat mixing ultra thin sand with some pigments, Mod Podge and water. Just remember to use Mod Podge matte for this. Making this type of diorama in 700 scale was pretty challenging, I must say, mainly because you have to think about every product you use to match this small scale. And as I found out on the internet, there are not too many dioramas on this scale, of course apart from sea ocean dioramas. I used this Ammo by Mick acrylic mat because I was just curious about this product. It has a lighter color, so it was a good way to make some shallow waters near the cliff. Using highly diluted acrylic black, I made a kind of a wash and pre-paint the rocks. Next step was to make famous scenic glue. 1 part Mod Podge, 3 part water and a few drops of dish soap. Yeah, look, Towan will be proud of me. And just kidding. Thank God you are there helping novice modelers like me and sharing your knowledge. By the way, if there is any shadow of a chance that you don't know Luke Tovans, I put a link to his channel in the description. Highly recommend it. Uptilung oils were used again to make this pier looks more realistic. Balsa wood absorbs oils very well, so it's easy to obtain natural shading and color variation. More ultra thin sand for diorama, and now the fun part. Painting 700 scale rock wall. I'm just gonna leave you with this. After applying black oil paint, the wall looks much better. Next steps will be mostly using oils to make some weathering or just painting the ground. I assembled some Castel construction elements and pasted them. There are just holes in the Castel windows, so I put foam inside to make it darker. Let's add some greenery. There was a really small garden flock in the Castel kit, so I used it to simulate the grass. White dry brush for rocks and started to make trees. These are the trees from the kit, but I wanted something more realistic. All the greenery brings a diorama to life. After pasting it, I sealed everything spraying scenic glue. It's Japanese diorama, so there must be some cherry blossom trees, of course. And here's a pro tip: if you want the brown color, you mix yellow, red and blue. And add more blue if you want it darker. Yeah, I think it was worth the effort. As for the scale, trees looks quite okay. To make the sea bottom a bit green, I used XF17 Tamiya paint. Now for the most exciting part, epoxy resin water. Let's prepare the base for it. I used acrylic sheet, sticking it from the inside with Mod Podge and hot glue from the other side. Just make sure to do it very accurately to avoid any resin leakage.
Help?
I used clear epoxy resin and two pigments, blue and brown. I started with a very small amount and added more to get dark green, slightly transparent color. I didn't want to see the bottom just under Myoko, so the water must be dark enough to simulate deep waters. I added hardener and mixed two parts for about 10 minutes. Now the most thrilling part, pouring the resin and bagging everything to be sealed properly. The bubbles can be easily removed using a gas torch or even just a lighter. While the resin was curing, I made some improvements, painting trees a bit and adding a few more on the Castel. After about 24 hours, the resin was hard enough to start working with water. First, I cleaned the side and cut the edges. Then sanded the resin using different fine-graded sandpaper and Tamiya compounds. I wanted to add some life to my diorama, so I used this 700 scale sailing boats accessory set. Masts left from different projects and these lovely crew members. I've painted the boats using an airbrush and weathered with oils. For the sailing boat, I made a sail from baking paper and add some rigging. I made small hole in the resin using corundum grinding bit. And finally put DDG Myoko on the water. Using Mod Podge gloss, I wanted to make water texture. However, the next day there were bubbles everywhere, so I removed it and started over. The great thing about this glue is that you can easily remove it if something has gone wrong. This time I put first clear varnish and then Vallejo water texture. Next step was to paint the ship's wake and create some effects on the water. By the way, I really like the epoxy resin effect. I used it for the first time, but it wasn't the last for sure. To make some seafoam effect, I used Vallejo still water, snow effect from AK, and white paint. I put a clear varnish on the water sides and painted these little human beings. Sorry, but it was too hard to record it. I've made the diorama sides from balsa wood. I pasted the figures and I call it good. I wanted this diorama to tell a story or represent something. That's why I bring some life into it. So there are a couple guys sailing a boat. A sailor just chilling on a landing deck. And an old ship commander looking at his motherland, making sure his ship is able to protect what's important. A Roman general Vegetius said, "If you want peace, prepare for war." That's why I put modern ship on the background of a traditional Japanese castle. Let this diorama be a tribute to all those who devote their everyday work, service and sometimes even life so that everyone lives peacefully. And just to be clear, of course, real Nagoya Castle is not on the seashore, but this is just a symbol in this case, and the purpose of this diorama is just to make us remember that we need to protect and guard our tradition and independence. Hope you like this diorama project. If so, please consider to subscribe this channel, I would appreciate that a lot. In the meantime, have a nice day and stay tuned for the next episode. Cheers!